Hi guys, so I'm back, and this part of the broadcast is meant to focus Kim Jong Un. But right after the last broadcast, Patty Joe brought up a question that I thought I had answered about Putin indirectly, but I thought it was a really good question and something that we all think about. I'm sorry. I hope I don't have this like cough attack. But anyway, and the question is, will Putin rat out Trump? That's the basic question. Okay, so I thought this is interesting because I think he will. And I've talked about this in several readings I've done before. But it's a good question to ask directly since we were at the subject just now. Just to wrap up the whole Russia thing, I think is interesting. And I'll show you. I did a line of 5 reading just now before the broadcast started. And I can talk about it now. And it's interesting because at the center we have, this is a card of, the tarot card about theft and yeah, basically theft and dishonesty, something behind the scenes. And then we have the moon here, which is a card of professional reputation in your position in the world. So right there, clearly you have a story, which is that you could say, well, his reputation is based on stealing. Okay, so his position in the world is not right because it was gained out of dishonesty. Okay, he stole it. Okay, so that's the center now. Now it's 5 cards, 5 positions. So this, which starts position 1. This is the judgment and the sun, and the judgment is about in many ways about making a decision, right? It's like the day of reckoning, and it's almost like I feel like Putin has made the decision, and the decision is to come clean, to bring the light, right? To show clearly everything, not everything. We'd be naive to think that Putin would show everything, but so this is the man who with anger issues, probably Trump. Okay, the bully. And the stars card, the star is the card of hopes and expansion. So the hopes, his hopes about, it's like he comes clean about his hopes or his role in the hopes or expansions of the anger management problem person. Okay. And then we have the card related to stealing. And he's saying that clarity about his hopes to affect the anger management person and his position in the world, but his position in the world comes through stealing. Okay. And then we have King of Pentacles upside down, which I think means it's about financial problems. Okay. Overspending. I call it the Steve Mnuchin card. It's like the person who only cares about money on an abstract level. Okay. And here problems, so money problems. He stole it because he had, in a way, money problems. And this would be interesting if Putin frames it this way, because I think to me it means that he could say, oh, I try to help him out. I gave him money. And, you know, in the way that would be convenient for him to absolve him, like his own responsibility in all of this. Okay. Because as we have seen before, just now, things are going to look bad for Russia once the whole thing comes out. So this is a card of things happening quickly and delays. It's also a card of the internet. So you could say that it's delays through the internet or internet being related to this somehow in an opportunity. So he creates opportunities. Let's just look at the Lenormands. He creates opportunities for the anger management person. So we have a look into came as a result. He gave Trump an opportunities and a position in the world because he was able to help him out financially. Okay, so that was the deal. So it looks like he will talk about it. Okay, and then I asked right after these cards came out, what, if anything, will Putin reveal about Trump? Because the question is, okay, will he rat out Trump? It looks like it's possible, but I'm like, okay, what is he going to say, if anything? And the first card is this one, card of a man, an isolated man who had a very tough road ahead. And a lot of, we in a way, we could say this is a card of anger upside down. This is like, we were able to utilize anger in his favor and present him with an opportunity. And he was very happy to take it. And it was not a corrupt opportunity to be a thief. Okay. So presented an opportunity to move beyond the losses. And this was a corrupt opportunity to cheat. Okay. So that's possibly what he's going to say. There's no mention here of the PV tapes. One of a couple of readings I've done, the one about the Steele dossier, I think it's number 17, and another one, I forgot which one it is. I think, oh, it's the other one about the conversation that Putin and Trump had in one of those foreign meetings. It mentioned that the baby PP tapes, but not this time. Okay, so that's that. So let's wrap up the question about, Russia. So next, I am going to look at Kim. I wrote all these little questions out. Kim Jong Un, what's up with him? So that would be a good place to start. There's a lot of little questions about him and what's going to happen with North Korea in the next few years, and what's going to happen. Will there be some sort of war? Is this theater? What is up? But let's look at him. What's up with him now? What's up with him, generally speaking? Because that will open up. Okay. There will be a good way to look into what's going on a little better. Okay. So what's going on with, there you go. What is going on with Kim Jong Un? What is going on with Kim Jong Un? What is going on with Kim Jong Un? What's going on with Kim Jong Un? What's going on with Kim Jong Un? What's going on? What's going on with Kim Jong Un? What's going on with Kim Jong Un? What's going on with Kim? Now, something unexpected here, I guess. The Death card and the Scythe came. So okay, let's look here. So I'll just show you because this is a bit startling. Okay, so this is a card, just on the other one meant Trump. So this is a person with anger management issues. I don't know that I don't think this is Trump, because it was really, the question was what's up with Kim Jong Un, okay? And the coffin. This is position 1. And then a country upside down, country in disarray, and the government. An end to the government. Decision and a removal, because of Scythe. So that's that. Okay, that seems a little odd, honestly. I guess, I don't know anything about North Korea. So it's not like I know, I don't know anything, but yeah, this is like an ending of what? An ending of the government through a removal. This is like a sudden decision or a sudden removal. And the Judgment. Now, it's a decision to remove or a removal. And since the Death card is right on top of a person with anger management issues, I feel like it could be him, because it's, and I'll show you why. Okay, this is like, and I'm like getting goosebumps, not in a good way. It's kind of weird. And I'm thinking, okay, what about, was it about his dad? His dad died. And I'm like, it's been a while, I don't think it is. So I'll show you the other cards, and the cards that relate to the Scythe that I think are relevant here, which is a little bit kind of scary. I'm like, God bless him. I don't know. Even if he's a crazy person, nobody should have this kind of horrible death. So you have here indication that something is shady is going to happen or coming up for him. You have the Scythe and the Scythe. To the right, you have him. And a lot of Lenormand specialists say that when you see the Scythe, what's to the right, it cuts whatever is to the right here. So it's cutting a man, okay? And you have another, like a card of stealing or behind the scenes of behind him. So removal of him, there's a plans to remove him maybe, okay? And sudden or something happens through committee or conversations, or it could even be siblings, okay? This is the card of, sometimes can signify siblings. Now this is like, it's, this reminds me of when I first did a reading about Doug Jones and Roy Moore. It seems like so completely out of context, okay? So that's this is what's showing. Now I'll get now more into detail. I just wanted to show you the parts of the reading that kind of, it really pops out like that. Okay. At the center, which is supposedly the most important position, you have the Death, another death again, upside down, and the crossroads could be election, it could be choice. So this also shows a choice has to be made as a means to avoid death. Okay. So that's that. Now, underneath this, we have again the shit, something behind the scenes happening to this man. Okay, and I think this is, if I like to be as literal as possible, and if I'm literal, I'm thinking there's a man right behind this person doing things behind his back. Okay. And there's movement, aggressive movement to do something, to be assertive, secret, like a secret movement to make a choice that is about moving on from this man. Okay, so that's, if I read this now, if I look at this column, to me it's telling me the scene is some sort of palace intrigue. You know, it's like decisions being made about how to get rid of this guy. Okay, because yeah, that's how I see this. Okay, and like I said, I don't know any. It's sort of like the whole Alabama thing. I don't know anything about this guy or politics there or something, but it's just showing it's a little weird. Okay, and we have, and it's interesting because the farther out you have very good cards. So you have a celebration, a gift, and public recognition, a boss, a new boss, possibly a new leader, an invitation for a leader, and conversations. Okay, clear conversations and certain so that's what I see here, the future. Now, let me try to go backtrack here a little bit. So if I look at how there's different ways that you can look at the reading, and you can look at the different relations. Okay. If you look at the diamond pattern, right, it's showing, let me just do the Lenormands quickly because it's faster that way. So we can look at this is not supposed to be, it's not really sequential. It's more like a round connection. So it's like man in the government and secret conversations. Secret conversations about the man in the government. That's the diamond pattern, okay? And then at the corners, we have the kind of a summary. And it's death, okay? Well, it's a coffin, an ending, sudden ending. Conversations. Sudden ending. That will bring happiness. That will be positive, okay? So what this is telling me, it seems like to me, this is so weird because, like I said, I don't know anything. I don't follow. I only know the very basics about Kim Jong Un. But what this is, it's like a kind of weird, creepy thing to say. But it's almost as if there's some sort of plan to take him down, and either he's going to die. So, like, kind of scary, but it's like, yeah, like a person has, like, I think this could be him here. He has a coffin on top of him. Okay, that's not good. Sorry. And there's like disorder in the country and the government. Okay. So, ending to the government through a decision to make a cut. Okay, so that's that. That's what's happening with him. And I think, again, I don't know anything. I don't know what this could, I'm not sure if this is oh, this is Patty Joe. This Kim sister have him taken out. Yeah, it's so interesting because I'm like, guys, I'm getting goosebumps now. It's like, and I have candles out, so I'm like, oh, please God, make this. I like, things to be. I really get, it freaks me out a little bit, those kinds of questions, like the death thing, whatever. But I think it's like, to me, it's like like I said, it reminds me a little bit of the Doug Jones thing, because like, it's so random, but it's so clear. It's like, I don't know anything, but it's looking very clear to me that there's oh, and you know what? Because Patty Joe just, does Kim's sister have him taken out? And I'm like getting goosebumps. because you have, like I said, I'm going to show you again, the very last row, a column is very positive. So you have public celebration, a gift, and you have public celebration again. In a way, it's like a public victory, public recognition. And you have the bear. Now, the bear card is a card of the boss, is a card of power, is a card of money, but it's also a card of a woman. Okay. So it's a woman. It could be a woman. I'm saying because she asked, I don't know anything. I didn't know we had a sister. This is can also be a card of siblings, a card of conversations, public conversations, and that's that. You know what I'm thinking too? I'm going to ask the question that you just asked. What I'm thinking is that I am getting this now that I see this for some reason. I don't know why, or maybe because actually I researched him just now to actually find out how to spell his name correctly because I wanted to ask the questions. So something said there was something about our relationship with South Korea, and the feeling that I'm getting here, because this is a card of, it could also be meetings and conversations. So what I'm feeling here is that as a means to avert disaster and to have a better relationship with South Korea, this is a change, like a cut in a good way, like a new clarity about the relationship with South Korea. So I feel like that's the feeling that I'm getting, is that there's forces at hand that are seeing that it's dangerous to have somebody like him in power. And there is a backroom or hidden discussions about how to create a change in order to diminish instability, okay, in the region. Because I went to art school in New York, and I had a lot of South Korean. There was a lot of, I had some friends from South Korea, and also American whose parents from South Korea, like very nice people. I can only imagine the amount of stress dealing with having that man, okay, next to you. Very dangerous, very scary. So anyway, so that's that. So okay, so that was the question about him. Now let me ask quickly the whole. See, it's hard to tell the thing about the sister, and I'm thinking, it's gonna. You know what I'm gonna ask, since this was a very open, right? First open into the reading, and it was like one of those boom, kind of scary, like bow, like hit you in the face kind of outcome pictures. So I think I should ask another question that was going to confirm or deny what it just said, which would be something like, is Kim going to stay in government for much longer? Will Kim Jong Un remain as head of the government in North Korea for much longer, for more than, or yeah, is he going to remain in the government of North Korea for much longer? Because that would confirm whether or not what the other reading just now showed. Okay, so will Kim Jong Un remain in the North Korean government for much longer? Okay. And it's funny, I'm getting images of this woman. If it's a woman, that Petty Jojo asked, she's traveling, she's doing stuff. She's almost like more diplomatic, or she's more concerned about diplomatic issues. Like she wants to keep the legacy of her family going, but I think she sees the bigger picture. He's a little bit crazy. She's like, he's my little crazy brother or whatever. Okay, anyway, so let's think about this. Okay, let me focus. How much longer? No, is Kim Jong Un going to stay as head of the North Korean government for much longer? Will Kim Jong Un stay as head of the North Korean government for much longer? Okay. All right. Kim Jong Un stay as head of the North Korean government. Will Kim Jong Un stay as head of the North Korean government for much longer? I honestly, it's inconclusive to me because here you have the center of the reading here is the tower, aggression, misplaced aggression, and the tower. And just starting with chaotic because of financial issues and overtly aggressive government. And it's like he turns down an offer. There's some sort of offer made to him. This offer is key to whatever happens next. But and there's a somebody not giving up. Again, this card comes up again. Conversation. So the key to the government are the conversations, or could be possibly a sibling. Okay. So what this shows is that there might be a conversations with him as the people may want to influence him to change or to leave the government, but it's not showing. I thought is going to confirm his death. I don't know, but I feel like there's definitely a lot of pressure to have him stay. Okay. I'm not to have him stay, to have him leave, or to have him change his positions, or I feel there's something. It's funny, my intuition, if anything, is showing me that it's like his fate is done. He has to leave. There has been a sort of like a decision about him, and they're working to sort of make him accept it. They're having conversations to make him change. And that's that. And I don't know if he really will die or leave the government or not. Okay, so let's look at, okay, now let's go back to the questions, which is the possibility that what will happen to North Korea in the next 5 years. Okay, will North Korea? Okay, now let's ask the relationship between the U.S. and North Korea. Now, the other question I feel like I want to ask, which might be more important, is the relationship between North Korea and South Korea, because it's such a volatile relationship, meaning not South Korea, but North Korea. He's so crazy. And that area of the world, let's hope then, if something were to happen there, it would be a serious disaster for humanity. I don't think anything really bad will happen, but let's see the relationship of North Korea with the world in the next 2 years, both with North Korea and South Korea, and then North Korea and the US. Okay, 2018. Let's think about that. Okay, so what's going on between North Korea and the world, especially South Korea, Korea, China, and the US. Okay, what's going to happen between North Korea? What's the relationship with North Korea and all these countries? Okay, so, and what's going to happen? So we're going to do like a line of 3 for North Korea, what's up, then South Korea, then China, then the US. Okay. Okay. See what's happening. North Korea and all these other countries. Okay, so all North Korea and all these other countries in 2018. Okay, North Korea and all these countries 2018. Okay. What's happening with North Korea and all these countries in 2018? North Korea and all these countries in 2018. Korea, North Korea, South Korea, China, and the US 2018. North Korea, South Korea, China, and the US 2018. Okay, so North Korea is here. And South Korea. China. The US. Okay, so that's interesting. Patty Joe, it's like her radical question. Does Kim's sister haven't taken? So no, I don't think. Okay, so this is let's look at how I've structured this reading about the relationship between North Korea and these 3 other sections. So South Korea, China, and the US. Okay. Now, here's the position of what North Korea, where it starts with. Okay. So it's like money problems. This first beginnings of a venture, a deal to improve financial situation. Faction. So this is a conflict after, it's like mature conflict in the sense that the factions have already formed. And corruption, theft, and stress. Okay, so it looking into making a deal, looking into making a corrupt deal. Okay. What I get from this is that North Korea is almost ham-fist its way into power, but it's not getting that that's not how things are done. Okay, so it's like trying to make a deal, but at the same time, North Korea is under a lot of real problems, famine and money problems. So even though it was able to kind of get things by being hyper aggressive and pushing this separate kind of situation, That's where it is. Okay, it's trying to cut out deals, but deals that are corrupt. It's trying to muscle its way into the geopolitical situation in this way. Okay, so it's not really working, I don't think, for them. Okay, so that's where they are. And right underneath, I did South Korea because I feel like South Korea is key. Okay, to what's going to happen, because I remember watching the news, and somebody who was a specialist in North Korea was explaining that if they decide to, then the country will be wiped out, because all these other nations are going to, China and so forth, they're going to kind of like, press little buttons or whatever. It's not so easy. So this is interesting. So this is a card about making a decision, having a hard time making a decision. The bear, position of its power. Okay. And card of illusions. Okay. Castles in the air, illusions, aggression. Okay. Emperor and a cut. Now, I don't know if any of you guys know much about the government of South Korea. I don't know much about it. I know that they recently took down. They're very anti-corruption over there, which is very cool. Like the citizens there, they really went to the streets and they really fought very hard to remove someone in the government. I don't think they have a king, obviously, like an emperor, but somebody was removed. Now, what I think here, in light of the reading I did just now, okay, the one just before this one on the same thing about what's happening with Kim Jong Un, is that somehow, okay, so it's showing that the relationship with South Korea, they're trying to, I think in a way, what I believe this has to do with South Korea itself is having a hard time making a decision on how to stand firm against North Korea, okay? And what it's showing here is illusion. So I feel like North Korea is playing the bad guy. They're creating these like illusions, or this fake ideas about aggression. I don't think this is real. It's just a make-believe, kind of like aggression to gain power. But at the same time, to the removal of the emperor. Okay, now, I think what it's showing, remember how the reading I did before, it showed that there's stuff behind the scenes going on about how to remove Kim, okay? And I believe in some way or other, South Korea is in trying to remove Kim. And it's possible that it could be a relative of his. I don't know exactly how it works. I really don't know much at all about his family or anything over there. But what I feel like it could show is that for the sake of stability, South Korea is looking into ways to remove him. Okay. And it's kind of like it's like the image I have is a child having a bomb. A child played around with a gun, and it's a very dangerous situation. So they're trying to play along with him, knowing how powerful like he is. And at the same time, they're working behind the scenes to come up with some sort of plan to remove him. Okay, so they are involved in somehow trying to remove him. Okay, so that's South Korea. Now, China, which is, I think, more and more coming out as the world's greatest superpower. Now, we have King of Swords upside down. Now, this is a card of the psychopath. Okay, cold. And it's coming as a player. It's a news about the psychopath. And Wheel of Fortune. So I feel like obviously China has a lot of money and is in a very good position, geopolitically speaking. And it's going to hustle its way into the conversation, okay? It's what I have, the feeling I get here is that it's going to surprisingly show itself is going to affect the situation with North Korea somehow, okay? And this is a country an impoverished country. This has come up for the US before in the context of US question, but I don't think this is what it's showing. So basically, I think it's going to show, this is a visitor too. So it could mean that China is also trying to talk to North Korea behind the scenes, is trying to hustle its way into the conversation that's mostly should be more between South Korea and North Korea, but it's kind of like pushing its way around because of its good fortune. Okay. In a way, it's exploiting this weakness that's been brought by the conflict of North Korea as a means to further consolidate its power. Okay. So that's a way to see it. Now, the US, it's very interesting. Okay, 1 second. Hold on 1 second here. Okay, now, the US, it's very interesting because, sorry guys, I have this little hot water with lemon and honey, even though it doesn't look so good and interrupts the reading a little bit. Now, the US is interesting because you have a lot of major arcana cards. Interesting pictures painted here. So we have the Hierophant, Justice, and Star. So even though I say often that the tarot is not as important as the Lenormand, it is in some ways also important, especially when you have all these major arcana. So the Hierophant card is a card of, I call it the Illuminati. Okay, so it's the hidden influential people. If the Emperor is the person who has the job to lead, the Illuminati are the influential people behind the scenes. And then you have the Justice card, which is karma and those kinds of things. And then you have the Hope card and the card of dreams. So on top of that, you have the Lady. Now, if you have been following my readings, I tend to see the Lady as Russia. Okay, so it could say that even though the US is very influential, this influence is also planted by Russia. Okay, so there's conversations, possibly an influence, but a lot of it's filtered by Russia in some way. Now, the Justice card, this is interesting. There's death. So it's possible that what this first position showed, which is the behind the scenes influence filtered through Russia, will come to an end because of legal issues going on with the US. Okay, so it's possible that this could also foretell the removal of Trump. And this is very positive here, actually. This is a star and the star together. So hope, and a better future. So if I read this correctly, and it's in a way it's good as just 3 cards, 3 positions, because you don't have a lot of room to stretch it out very much or over interpret this. So what I'm getting is that once the Trump government comes to an end, or some sort of legal issue that's going to impact the relationship of the US and Russia comes to an end, many better things are going to happen. Okay, the future is positive for the US and North Korea because you have hope twice, right? So it's like doubling the message of a better future and hope. So, so that's that. Now, I don't think so. I guess I could ask the question about the war. I don't see necessarily a war here, okay, happening. But then I don't know. I have not looked into wars. Like, oh, what is a war gonna? I don't know. I'm not a specialist in wars, but what I see here are several things. I feel like North Korea and playing around. Okay, and then I see South Korea as very, very clever, very, very mature, and very diplomatic, kind of playing around with this little kid, but ultimately behind the scenes working to remove him somehow. I see China muscling its way in, making their voice heard in this conversation about the future of North Korea. Okay. And then the US relationship improving once there are changes brought to the US government through legal means. Okay. And I don't think, because I'm trying to think what cards would signify war. And I'm thinking the Tower, death, repeated, a lot of other things. I don't see it, honestly. I see the whole thing with this is interesting. You know, the card here of this came up with South Korea, but I think it's a good picture for North Korea. It's like illusions of aggression. Okay, so I feel like it's a lot of theater, and it's a lot of the feeling I get here is the lose evil. Okay, when you open up this, you create instability in the world, you have all these like loose energies kind of like seeing how far they can go. And I think that's what's happening with North Korea. I feel like that's where it's happening. And I do think that South Korea is going to play a much bigger role in the future of North Korea. And it's trying to affect, they're really thinking that this is just completely intuitive. The feeling I get about South Korea is that they're thinking, okay, I think we may have been a bit too lenient in terms of how we dealt with North Korea. Now we have to be a bit more aggressive in terms of trying to bring an end to this. And so I think they will play a role in possibly attempting to terminate the government of North Korea somehow, or bringing in some sort of coup against Kim Jong Un. Okay, so that's what I see now. Let's see. There's more questions here. Okay, so I think it's okay. I don't have there's maybe like 10 minutes left, and I'm feeling my voice is going a little bit, but I think there's two important questions. Well, I think I could end this with the question, what will happen to North Korea in 5 years? I think that would be an interesting question, because I started with the question about Kim himself, but now it would be an interesting way to complement the question, okay? Because the whole thing with the US, I don't think there's going to be, honestly, guys, I don't think there's going to be a war. And it's partially because I also don't like to think that we can't change things, or that, I don't know. I feel like there's so much theater going on with with the whole thing, especially with Trump. It's like it became so I don't know. Like it became so, the whole thing is entertainment. Oh, interesting. Oh my God, Patty Joe has good questions. And South emerge. I don't, honestly, I think that let's you know what, let's look at what's going to happen to the North, even though I'm getting goosebumps. What's going to happen with North and South Korea? I'm sorry, North Korea in the next 5 years. And this is what I'm getting, guys, now is just intuition. I feel like South Korea is looking at North Korea in thinking we have to be like the older sister. We have to take them under our wing, and we have to try to, like, almost like a child who's addicted, try to like intervention or something. That's what we're gonna do, even though I think it changes a little bit from what has happened in the past. I think that's what they're gonna do. I don't know that I see it almost like, for some reason, and this is, guys, I'm not doing cards now. I'm just saying what I see, the images I see. I see almost like the Berlin Wall. Okay, when they opened up, they removed the barriers. It's not going to be, even though it's going to be a little bit slower. First, they're going to try to change the government there, and then they're going to slowly kind of try to reintegrate everybody together. And oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps now. Yeah, I'm seeing all these families reunited, and like, it's like, you know, because I can see in my mind like the images of people, like they haven't seen each other in like decades, and they're like hugging, and they're like people really older ladies like finding their relatives in like the next 3 years or so. I feel like it's going to happen that they're going to remove the government there and they're going to slowly reintegrate. It's going to be a very big change for South Korea, and South Korea is going to get stronger even. And it's funny, like it's so funny because I feel like I said, I have some not that close, super close Korean friends, but I'm very familiar with Korean people. Like I've basically went to school with them, many of them. So they're like very nice people, very sweet, very peaceful people. And so anyway, so I hope, you know, I hope the best for the best. Anyway, so I'm basically now I'm going. I went off on the images I see. Okay, because I do see images too. But anyway, so let me just ask the question now: what's going to happen to North Korea in the next 5 years? Okay, just quickly. All right. So that way we could see. We're going to see a little bit. We're going to see a little bit more in terms of what's going to happen with them. And okay. All right, let's see a little bit what's going to happen to North Korea in the next 5 years. Just an overall quick picture, 5 positions that way. But that's what I see. I feel like the outcome of all of this aggression is going to be a greater role, South Korea taking a greater role, and maybe definitely perhaps trying to cause some sort of integration. Okay. And there's important families in South Korea who are getting together and thinking about this on a deeper level. Okay. All right. Let's see what's going to happen to North Korea in the next 5 years. What's going to happen to North Korea in the next 5 years? North Korea in the next 5 years. 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 So I think in a way, okay, I need to drink something quickly. I think this is just 5 positions. It confirms what I had said just now, which is that so we have the center, high priestess, and on top of it, positive change. So I feel like the high priestess is not just about secrets, it's also about things that are not yet known. So it will come to pass. There's things that are not yet known. They're going to create a positive change for North Korea, okay? And this is like the negative elements of the wand. So anger. So they're positive anger or a manipulation. Okay, so their reputation is for force. And this sun means good things. So they're positive, their reputation will improve in a good way, and things happen that will cause them to, for the nice, because in the past possible letter. So maybe a law, something, communication with the past, legal issues related to the past, and money and government. So communication of the government maybe I believe it's possible that they could unite. I don't see anything. There's nothing bloody here. There's no death or painful ending or all those kind of classic pain cards. What I see is that there's a lot that's going to happen that we don't know about that could be possibly happening right now behind the scenes. That is going to lead to communication with the past, right? So people that they already know. So South Korea, and then this is a financial health or prosperity that will lead to prosperity in the government. Okay, so it's good. I think for them, it looks like there's a lot that's going to happen to them internally. It's going to create change, and that's that. Sorry, just quickly. Yeah. I don't think I pulled out some cards and I'm thinking, is North Korea going to bomb the US? I don't think so. I think the man here, this is so the cards that came out, the Tower, the Gentleman, it could be Kim. Okay. So shit's gonna happen to Kim. It's gonna fall apart maybe. And this is a friendly relationship, news of a friendly relationship. And this is dotard. News. There's news from dotard. I feel like diplomacy, in a way, is able to avert a war from happening. Okay, hopefully. I could look into it more, but I think this was actually one of the super surprising reading because I didn't know much. I still don't know much about North Korea, but I just wanted to share. I don't believe there's going to be bombs or those kinds of things, but it was just a way to look into it. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'm gonna go soon. I'm gonna go now. Okay, because I feel like my voice is going, but I think this was really interesting, and I'm going to continue tomorrow with the broadcast. I think I'm going to do one tomorrow, and then I'm going to stop for a few days because there's also these past, I've done all these, I have a backlog of readings to do, also private readings, and also just reading. Anyway, I've already done readings. I've already done even the little website, how I was doing before. I did it like a couple weeks ago. I still haven't done the videos for them. So there's videos to do for Jill Stein. There's videos to do about all kinds of little issues that I haven't done. So I need to go and do those. But I'm going to, yes, Happy New Year, everybody. So I'm going to do those too. And then I want to do a Q&A, weekly Q&A session where the theme is open, completely open. So you can ask me any questions you want. So I'm just going to say goodbye for now. And I thought this was really interesting. Okay. All right, guys, have a good evening and Happy New Year. All right. Bye. Bye.